Hello, how are you all doing? I hope that you're having an amazing day. My name is Jade, and I'm a chaotic artist who has no routine whatsoever. So, I'm gonna try and schedule posts and organize myself a little bit more. But also, because I'm chaotic, each video will change. I do lots of different things, such as unboxing scroller boxes, digital art, diamond painting, which I'm going to try and do a Q&A. So please ask any questions in the comments section and I'll answer them. I also have a Let's Try playlist where I try new things like products and stuff like that I found from the works and B&Ms. Also things that I thought would just be like really good to try out with you guys. So, onto this video. This is the third video in this series. So, go check out them other videos on my profile. But I found this on DeviantArt by ArtChanXV, which was inspired by another post by edog81818104 from their top 10 memes. Anyway, this is a top 10 VHS tape covers, Disney style. So for those who don't know what a VHS is, it's short for video home system. I'll put a picture on the screen somewhere, but it's basically like a DVD player, and I'll be drawing the Disney covers from the VHS era. When starting this piece, I sorted out the image because it was more rectangular and straight, because it in the picture it was laid down, so it was a bit weird, and it was the first time I did something like that with this app, so I was pretty proud of myself and trying to do something new. But after doing that, I drew the shapes of the characters in blue, and I did this roughly trying to mark out the spaces so I could get started on the refine layer of this piece. I then refined the shapes in red, and as I said in my other videos, I have two steps to sketching. This is shapes and refine. It's basically what it says on the tin, really, but it's a really good tip to try if you are struggling with this sort of stuff. And before I get onto the coloring and all of that, fun stuff, I'm gonna tell you some Sleeping Beauty facts. So number one, Walt Disney once said, "From the time I started making motion pictures, I dreamt of bringing Sleeping Beauty to life through the medium of animation." Disney registered Sleeping Beauty as a planned production title on January the 19th, 1950, perhaps in anticipation of the success of Cinderella, which was to be released that February. Walt envisioned Sleeping Beauty based on the 17th century version of the famous tale by Charles Perrault as the ultimate in the art of Disney animation. Number two, every frame is a work of art. The sequence director Eric Larson remembered that there was a conscious effort to strive for Sleeping Beauty perfection, saying, "Walt told me after one story meeting that he didn't care how long it took, but to do it right." Walt challenged more than 300 Sleeping Beauty artists and technicians to make each frame an independent work of art. Because of the intricate stylization of the characters, the assistant animators had to work carefully with extracting specifications, even down to the exact thickness of the pencil lines. In the case of the carefully designed Rose Aurora, it took one full day to create one cleaned up animation drawing. For the jewel-like colors selected by Irvine Earle, the Disney Paint Lab developed new hues using additives that gave the pigments a glow on the screen unseen in any animated film that had come before. Number three, Dream Prince Philip. "If there's anything that's really tough to animate, it's the male hero," admitted Walt. "It's hard to make him interesting and not have him come out looking like Dick Tracy and Buck Rogers." He instructed his artists to make the characters as real as possible, near flesh and blood, and this was specifically important for Prince Philip. As he had such a large role to play, the masterful animation of Philip resulted in a prince who is not only vigilant, but also likable with good-hearted humour. That was done by Milk Carl, noted Mac Davis of his fellow animator acclaimed for expertly bringing to life difficult to animate human figures. Number 4, their magic can only be used for good to bring happiness. The three good fairies, knowing that the success of the story depended on Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather, and their efforts to shield Aurora from Maleficent's curse, Walt appointed 2 fairy godfathers to the characters, Frank Thomas and Ollie Johnson, to bring the trio of good-hearted do-gooders to life. I'm sorry. Johnson and Thomas studied old ladies at wedding receptions and shopping at the grocery stores, or shopping at Asda and Tesco's, while Don Dagradi found the key to the characters' movements by observing that many older ladies wore their hats flat on top of their heads and toddled along briskly wherever they went. The result: 3 sparkling personalities who have been enduring themselves to audiences for 6 decades. And lastly, fact 5. Sleeping Beauty was a box office bomb, at least compared to the cost of production, that the company decided that princess movies, because of the bomb, at least compared to the cost of the production, that the company decided that princess movies weren't exactly the wave of the future, and they didn't make another princess movie until 30 years later, and that's when The Little Mermaid was released in 1989. Wow, that's a long time. I really liked Sleeping Beauty. Wow, didn't know it was that much of a bomb. So as I was finishing up the fun facts about Sleeping Beauty, I finished up the sketching and also started on the title beforehand. Now that the title is the only part that I kind of cheat with. When I started this series, I thought that I could do the title just as I could draw the characters, but it's harder than it looks. So in the end, I thought it would be best to copy the outline of the title and use that for my drawing and flesh it out a little bit more later on. I used 2 different colours so I can mark out which colour should go where on the title, because there's two or three different colours, because that's just a simple for me to sort out the placement. And I don't know if you've noticed this, but I've noticed this, and I've missed out Maleficent's horns, and I can't believe that I've missed it. I'm realising it now. Oh my, but yeah, I missed that, and mistakes were made. After doing the line art, I decided to complete the background first, but I do notice that I actually sort out my base colours for the characters first, but my main focus is the backgrounds. So in my opinion, I think as this series goes on, or at least time-wise goes on, my backgrounds get better. But I don't know if you'll probably notice how my drawing style changes, because like I said, I had no routine for this. I didn't know how I was gonna put this out there, so I did my favorite ones first, and yeah, but I'm sorry about that, but you'll know. I can't change that now. But looking back, I realized that I didn't really like Prince Philip's head. It was just oversized and I didn't know how to fix it, so I just rolled with it in the end. I know that I need to work on people's faces a lot more, like at least side profile at least, but I did like Aurora and Maleficent. I think going into the future, I'd like to focus a lot more on the backgrounds itself. This is detailed, but it just needs to be a lot more sharper in places, more detailed in some areas. I use the basic sketch as a guideline, so I know where the steps are and the wall pillars are supposed to be. Then I add that when I'm adding details to the background, I use the spray tool, so there's a gradual change in colour, and I add shapes of dark and light, or like shades of dark and light to the steps, so there's different dimensions, and same with the pillars to try and make them look more rounded and stuff. And I do try and add bricks, and I did notice that there is a flag which I saw out, and it's messy, but it's there. It's a lot better than my earlier backgrounds that I've done, where they're just shocking. I'm working on it. and I'm glad that I'm working on it, because it is one of them ones that I'd like to get better at, not just the people themselves but also backgrounds. I don't know what it is with me, but I seem to make all the Disney villains even more evil looking. But Maleficent is probably the best villain I've drawn up to now that I know of, anyway. But honestly, I hate myself for missing that on, but it's just a reminder for next time, and I will get there. I do like how the cloak gradually goes down. It looks a bit sinister in a sense to me. I nearly did forget her staff as well, but I didn't, which I'm glad about. Also, I'm happy with the top, that ball thing, the thing, it just looks nice and shiny. I'm glad I was able to create that. And I was able to add in the shading of her face and proper make her contoured, like cheeks and face, which I was pretty happy with. When I do coloring, I do like to have the section of the image next to where I'm coloring, so I know that I'm having the right, that I'm choosing the right colors and stuff. So I really liked shading, at least with Prince Philip. I liked shading his cloak, and I like the shadings that I've done for Aurora and Prince Philip, the clothes themselves and the rose, because it looks like it's, you know, it's wavy, if you get what I mean. It's wavy. But yeah, and as you can see, I keep on having the actual image next to where I'm coloring. I also do think that's a really good tip. And that hand looks weird as well. Oh wow. But another thing that I did like to do was, I actually really like to do Rora's hair. And I noticed that I missed out the details of the pillows, and I added that in, and that's why I went in. So there's some bits where I thought I needed to add into the background, and I was able to do that on a separate layer, which I had a folder which was just background. So each layer was different, if you know what I mean. Like I had background, and then I had characters, and then each character had their own folder. Yes. And I really liked drawing Aurora's jewelry. So her jewelry on a necklace, and her tiara. I'm really happy that I was able to make that shine. And her hair, I loved to do, because it was like when in the end, it looks really nice and golden, and I was happy with that. So yeah, so I was happy with doing her hair. And when I'm finished with all of the characters, so I'm nearly finished with Aurora, I get started on the title. When doing the title, I did the first color, which was the outline, which was the bold blue, and then I colored the main outline into a bright yellow. I started out using a spray tool, so the shadow on the right side was subtle, but I wasn't feeling it. I did try to do it gradual, so from like a darkish yellow, orange to a red, and it just wasn't there. I wasn't feeling it, so I decided to color in one section of entire white. No, entire red, sorry. I tried to do that section entirely red. It crashed. My tablet wasn't having any of it. So it just crashed on me. So I had to do the title from scratch again. However, thankfully it was just the title. I did save everything. This is the reason why you should save stuff, get it saved, so you don't have to like redo it from the start. But this time I did decide to do the color. So I decided to do the yellow on just the side that you could be seen or be shown as yellow, and left the side to be colored in with red. And then I was able to and then I took off the outline references, and it just looked nicer. It looked better that way, so I was glad about that. And then I started to clean up the edges and get it all saved and on the tablet thing. So I hope that you liked this piece. I hope it looks nice to you. I like it. I hope that you liked this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my Patreon and my other social medias, which should be all connected to my link tree, which is down below. And if you go over to my Etsy shop, you can also see these as a sticker form. All of my Disney VHS tape covers, you will get a pack of 10 with one sparkly one and then 2 freebies, so you could go check them out if you'd like. But mostly like, comment, and subscribe. And anyway, I hope that you have a lovely day, a lovely night, good night, anything. But I hope you have a nice day. See ya. Bye.